How long has it been since you last got something for yourself? If it's been a while, I'm giving you permission to get something for yourself this Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, or you're listening to this episode when we're not in the middle of holiday season, these gifts would be great year-round for any holiday or any day you're thinking, it's been a while since I have treated myself, and I think I deserve a little something. I got you. Today, I'm going to share some of my favorite things that I use for my own self-care practices, sometimes on a daily or weekly basis. And I'm also going to share some things that I've added into my creativity toolkit that has helped me to crochet through my own emotions. Do you ever feel like your thoughts are tangled? You have an endless to-do list and you just don't have enough time? Do you crave a slower, more intentional life filled with peace, purpose, and joy? If that sounds like you're in the right place. Hi friend, I'm Sigoni, and this is Crocheting Through Emotions, the podcast for moms who feel overwhelmed, anxious, and disconnected from who they really are. Here we'll talk about renewing your mind, letting go of perfectionism, and finding simple ways to manage stress and anxiety. We'll explore tools like creativity, crochet, mindfulness, journaling, and even how faith can fit into the everyday chaos of motherhood. So grab your yarn or just a quiet moment for yourself. It's time to stop going through the motions and start crocheting through those emotions, one stitch at a time. Now I want to start by giving you a gentle reminder to slow down this holiday season, not speed up. It's not about the perfect gifts, the perfect decorations, or the perfect family moments. The beauty of the holidays is in their realness. The burned cookies, the connection, cozy, cuddly movie nights, reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, the wrapping paper that actually says birthday boy on it. Yes, my husband actually wrapped my gifts in this one year, but see, that's where the memories are created. So remember that. Listen though, I need you to be honest with me and tell me, am I the only one who buys things for myself to open on Christmas? It's actually become an inside joke for our family and kind of a goofy tradition, although I didn't intend it to be a joke. I'm dead serious about getting myself something every year. But now my kids will always look for the gift under the tree that says, to mommy from mommy. And they're like, really? Again? And it's not that I need presents and I don't appreciate what my family gets me. My husband actually is the best gift giver. He's always surprising me. But sometimes it's nice to gift yourself something that you wouldn't normally buy. And what better time than Christmas when you actually have an excuse? That being said, you can use this gift guide to give ideas to family or friends who might ask you what you want, or you can use it to find ideas for your crochet friends who need a reminder to care for themselves every once in a while, or you can straight up buy these things for yourself. No shame in that. Clearly, it's what I do. And I know that I just said you can use this gift guide as a way to find ideas for others, but I do want you to spend the next 10 minutes thinking about something you can get for yourself, whether it's now or in the future, because you deserve it. Okay, so I'm going to split this gift guide into two categories. The first category will include self-care items that are great stress and anxiety relievers. The second category will be crochet-specific items. Then I'm going to share a few bonus ideas that promote creativity and curiosity because we all need more of that in our lives. And before I get started, I wanted to say that none of these items are sponsored. I've never been sent any of these things for free. It's nothing like that. No one's paying me to make this podcast episode. These are all things that I have used, loved, and purchased with my own money over the years. Okay, now we get to the fun part. I'm going to try not to talk a lot when I'm talking about these items, but some of them I get really excited about, so just be warned. The first one is going to be shower steamers, and not just any shower steamer, but the Body Restore brand specifically. I'm obsessed with these. I've been consistently buying them for over a year now, and I've gifted several to friends, family, and even my doula after I had my baby. I usually buy mine on Amazon, so that's where you can find them too. There are a couple different variety packs out there. I can't remember which one's my favorite, but honestly, they're all amazing. I actually just got the collector's box, which has like 40, and it's pretty pricey, but they're almost always discounted, so that's super cool. Anyway, these shower steamers are made with essential oils, and they have the most magnificent smells. I love the variety packs because you have a lot of options. It's not just the same smell over and over, although I don't think I'd be upset about that because literally every single one of them smells amazing. They also last the entire shower, depending on how long you're in there, but my showers are usually around 10 to 15 minutes, and sometimes there'll still be a little bit of the shower steamer left by the time I'm done. I would love to use these for every single shower, but to not go through them too quickly, I use them about every other shower. And some of them are specifically related to like energy boosting or relaxing. So if I'm taking a shower in the evening, I'll definitely do like a lavender scent, something that's cozy and relaxing. And then in the mornings, I'll do something like the citrus blend, and I really feel like it just makes my eyes wake up. Does that sound crazy? I'm seriously obsessed. You should totally get them. Okay, so the second item is actually from the same company, and I've only used this once, but the one time that I used them, they made such an incredible difference in my mood and just my overall anxiety levels. Let me just tell you what they are. They're called steam eye masks. The pack that I got has 5 different scents. These would actually make really great stocking stuffers too. So what you do is you get comfy, you put it over your eyes, and they heat up and they smell amazing. I don't even understand how this is possible. You literally just take it out of the bag and you put it on your eyes and somehow they heat up. It's like a heating pad for your eyes that also smells amazing. So it's activating your senses and it's making you relax, and you never want to get up ever again because you've never been so comfortable in your life. Because as a mom of 3 boys, sometimes I need 20 minutes of silence when my husband comes home from work. There was one day I was having a particularly rough day, and so I told him, I'm just going to go lay down for a few minutes. I grabbed one of these eye masks and laid in bed, and instantly I felt so relaxed. I actually ended up falling asleep even though I didn't mean to, but it was the most restorative nap I've ever had. I'm pretty sure I walked down the stairs smiling to myself like a weirdo. I'm not even joking. I'm being totally serious. If they ever go out of business, I think I'll cry forever. Honestly, I just started this gift guide with my 2 favorite things, but there are still so many goodies coming. Okay, I'm going to try not to talk so much with the rest, or maybe I'm just going to talk forever because that's just how it's going to go today, okay? I'm just really excited to share all these things with you. I feel like I've been holding them hostage and other people need to enjoy them as much as I do. Okay, moving on. The next one in this category is the book Unwinding Anxiety by Dr. Judd Brewer. I've talked about this book many times before in previous episodes, but this book has helped me to understand how anxiety works and how it can become like a bad habit. I'm really bad at explaining things, so I'm just going to read this little blurb that it says on his website. We get stuck in anxiety habit loops that we can't think our way out of or use willpower to overcome. Dr. Brewer teaches us how to map our brains to discover our triggers, diffuse them with the simple but powerful practice of curiosity, and to train our brains using mindfulness and other practices that his lab has proven can work. This book is why I'm so intent on adding more creativity and curiosity in my life. Honestly, after reading this book and implementing a lot of the things that he says, I have seen a huge reduction in my anxiety. I went from feeling anxious every single day to the point where I wasn't having panic attacks every day, but I was having them more frequently. And now it's really rare whenever I feel that way. And I really attribute the beginning of my anxiety, what's the word I'm looking for? I attribute a lot of the reduction in my anxiety to that book, because it has helped me understand myself and my triggers, and it has also helped me to branch out and learn more and find additional resources. So it's not the only thing that's helped me, but it was a real good kick in the butt that got me going. I think that anyone with anxiety should read this book. And if you don't want to buy it for yourself, totally get it from the library or borrow it on Libby. If you've never heard of Libby, I don't have time to talk about it right now, but it's an app where you can borrow library books for free as long as you have a library card. Okay, next up are these somatic exercise cards. You can find them on Amazon and I'm sure in other places, but the one that I have is called Hack Your Nervous System. It was gifted to me by my mother and sister-in-law, and it's probably one of my favorite gifts to date. I believe she got them on Etsy, but I'm not sure of the shop names, so I'll figure that out and leave it in the description. These cards have 3 categories of exercises, from mild to moderate stress and anxiety. You can use these any time of day whenever you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or if you're just having a long day. Personally, I pick a new card every day before I start my work portion of the day, and it helps me to feel grounded and focused. But again, you can use them at any time of day, even multiple times a day. The deck that I have has 60 cards, so 60 exercises. Now, for gift number 5, you've probably heard that coloring is really good for stress relief. It's a super common practice, hence all of the adult coloring books out there. But am I the only one who gets more stressed out trying to choose the right colors that go together? I love coloring. It is totally relaxing and I understand why it's so popular. But for some reason, I can never get the colors right. I'll be halfway through and I'll hate the colors that I chose, and then I end up getting frustrated and not finishing it because I hate the way it looks. So that does nothing for my stress levels. But then I found reverse coloring. These books are so cool and I really wish I found them sooner. So these reverse coloring books are by Kendra Norton, and I feel like they're like a hidden gem. Instead of worrying about choosing specific colors, this book is filled with pages of watercolor art. So our job is to trace the shapes, fill in the dots, or create our own designs. It's kind of like laying in the grass looking for different shapes in the clouds. What I see can be completely different from what you see. And so no matter what, we'll always have a different picture. And I love this type of coloring because all you need is a pen and your imagination and maybe some relaxing music or an audiobook in the background. The one that I have has to do with seasons. So for each season, there's a set of watercolor pages. And so it's really cool to see even her creative inspiration behind each section of the coloring book and how she interprets the different seasons through watercolor. And this is really good for someone who has perfectionism because the whole point is for it not to be perfect. It's just doodling. So even if you make a mistake, it's really not a mistake. It's just part of the picture. All right, the next item on my list, which is number 6, is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This book is like therapy without a therapist, although I will always recommend therapy as a tool if you're willing to give it a try. But this is the book that introduced me to morning pages, aka stream of consciousness writing, which I talk more about in episode 5, but really I talk about this all the time. This is actually like a course in book form. It's a 12-week program that will have you reflecting on your life as a whole. It helps you rediscover who you are if you're feeling lost. And it really has creativity, our life as creativity, as the focus. There are weekly exercises, journaling prompts, reflection questions, and of course, morning pages. Back when I was first going through my burnout phase, my brain was feeling so clouded all the time. And so whenever I picked up this book and learned about morning pages, I just remember writing and writing and writing, like pages upon pages. Inside the book, she says that I don't know if she recommends that you write 3 pages. Actually, yes, she does. She recommends that you write 3 pages worth of notes, just anything that pops out of your brain. For me, I wrote like 5 to 7 pages, like front to back. It was just so helpful. It was one of the biggest tools that really, really helped. I feel like it just really cleared my mind. It helped me realize like some of the things that I was holding in and that I was finally able to release. And so that's why I am so adamant that people try journaling. Even if you don't like it, it's so good to be able to get all of your thoughts on paper. And especially if you do it the morning pages way and you are writing every single morning, it releases all of your day-to-day stress. And it even brings out this creativity side, because eventually you're going to get bored of writing. And so you're like, well, what do I write about today? And you just start writing about random things. And it's just a really fun exercise. So even if you don't read the book, you should look up a video about morning pages and give that a try. It not only helps you get to know yourself, but it helps you remember all of the things that you enjoyed when you were like a kid. Like there are a lot of things growing up that we really, really enjoyed. And then as we got older, we kind of forgot about them because life happens. We start getting stressed out and we forget about all the things that brought us joy when we were kids. And so that's one of the many things that you will kind of encounter throughout this course. So highly recommend that too. Okay, so this is my last thing for the anxiety and stress relief category, and that is books. You know, I cannot not recommend books. I read every single day. In fact, I just finished my 46th book this year, and I'm so proud of myself because my original goal was 35. Get yourself a book you've been wanting to read, ACOTAR or Throne of Glass. These are two of my favorite book series, both by the same author, and they really helped pull me out of my chronic anxiety cycle to the point where I was staying up until 3 a.m. trying to figure out what would happen next because there was no way I was going to bed without knowing. And then by the time I was finally able to go to sleep, I was so tired, there was no such thing as racing thoughts or overthinking because I had so much going on in my mind over the book. So buy some books and you'll even sleep better. But if you're not a physical book person or you're wanting to gift books to someone else, I highly recommend Audible or a Kindle Unlimited subscription. I have both. And obviously, there are so many book options out there. Kindle Unlimited is actually pretty impressive with the amount of books that they have for free through the subscription. I'll tell you another secret. Every year, I buy myself a book and I put it in the top of my stocking. Last year, it was a bit too big and I had to shove it in there and the top was sticking out a little bit, but hey, that's okay. That's part of the fun, right? Okay, that was a lot and I'm realizing this episode is actually going to be quite long. Well, maybe not too long because we just went through, 8 gift ideas and I have about 6 left. So not too much longer, but I hope you're working on a crochet project right now because you could be getting a lot done. If you are, I'd love for you to leave me a review and tell me what you're working on while you listen. Okay, let's talk about crochet now. All the things that I absolutely love that make crochet more exciting, the things I can't live without, and some just fun things that we're just going to throw in there. First things first, I have to talk about Clover Amour crochet hooks. If you've been hanging out with me for a while, you know I talk about these hooks all the time. I've been using them for almost 10 years now, and I've tried many, many other hooks. Nothing gets close to how much I love these. They are a tad pricier, but that's why they're on this gift guide. They're 110% worth the price though. Plus, Amazon has frequent sales. Even if they didn't though, I would still choose to get them every time. These hooks are so comfortable to hold. The yarn slides beautifully. It never catches, no matter the yarn you're using, at least it never has for me, and they last years. I purchased 2 sets back in the day. I purchased 2 sets because I have ADHD and I needed duplicates and I'm all over the place, so I knew I was going to lose some. But they have lasted this entire time and they still feel brand new. The only time I've had to throw out one of my hooks was because my 2-year-old decided to treat it like a chew toy. And apparently my boys think they're dogs because now I'm dealing with the same thing with my 1-year-old. Does anybody else's kids do that? We need child-proof crochet hooks. Actually, speaking of that, my second favorite hook, if you're interested, are the Tulip Atimo hooks. Those are actually, I think, baby teeth proof because my son currently is always trying to bite my hooks. And I do notice that the Clover Amour hooks take some damage and the tulip hooks do not. Now, this is clearly only a problem if you have animal children or maybe pets. So take that into consideration. But the tulip hooks, I think, are more expensive than the Clover hooks. But really, you get what you pay for, right? Okay, the next thing you can get is a crochet pattern book. I think these are really undervalued. We're so used to finding patterns online because they're free and easy to find, and there's a huge variety of projects, and that's great. But pattern books are priceless. These days, there are so many AI-generated patterns that you have to sift through, and it's so frustrating. Honestly, it drives me insane. But not just that. You know that with pattern books, all the patterns have been professionally designed and tested and high quality. I actually might have to make a separate episode on all my favorite pattern books because if I got into that conversation, we'd be here all day. But I'll list some of my favorites in the description. And of course, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with free patterns on the internet. Obviously, I offer free patterns, but it's just, sometimes it's nice to have a book, something that you can just hold in your hands and you don't have to worry about, is this AI? And, it's just more fun to be in a book. That's all I'm saying. Okay, the next thing you could get is a tote bag. This is super simple, I know, but personally, I use tote bags to separate all my works in progress. Yes, I said all. I know I have a problem, but I can never have enough tote bags because I always have a project going. Next, you can get a yarn bowl, but not just any old yarn bowl on Amazon. If you go to Etsy, you can find so many gorgeous handcrafted yarn bowls. Not only are you buying yourself something beautiful that you don't necessarily need, but you're also supporting a small business, and that's my favorite thing. I use yarn bowls sometimes while I'm crocheting, but they mostly just sit on my shelves as decoration. I have one handmade yarn bowl that was gifted to me years ago. It's the only one of its kind, and I truly cherish it. I don't remember the name of the shop, but there is this one lady who creates yarn bowls that look like really goofy heads. Maybe they're like trolls or something. I don't know, but with some of them, the yarn comes out of their nose or their mouth, and it's just so funny. It's one of those things that's so ugly that it's cute, you know what I mean? And I've just been wanting one for years now, so I should probably put it on my own Christmas list. And if you got it for someone else, you would have a real good laugh. So there's an idea. I'll try to find the link to her shop and I'll post it below. Okay, we have 2 more. Next up are the Granny Square card decks by Search Press. From what I can tell, these were released last year, but I just discovered them recently, and I tell you what, this is the perfect thing for crocheting for creativity. There are 50 cards in each deck, each with a different Granny Square design. Each pattern is in chart form though, so you'll need to know how to read charts in order to follow the patterns. But it does come with a little booklet that includes step-by-step instructions to reading charts if you've never read them before. Plus, you can just use YouTube if you need to. These cards are so great for crocheting for creativity though, because you can mix and match any of these designs and create your own. And that's so cool and so fun, and I haven't tried them yet, but I hope to get the chance soon. I actually ended up getting the Granny Square card deck, and then I also have the Granny Square flower card deck. And I believe, yes, yesterday, the third one just came out, which is Granny Square Stitches. And I pre-ordered that one, so I believe it shipped yesterday, and I'm really excited for that one to come out. And then they have another one coming out in February. Clearly, I did my research because this is such a fun little activity that you can do with yourself. You could even maybe ask Siri, like, hey Siri, can you choose a number between 1 and 50? And then it'll pick the card that you can make. And you can make coasters, you can make blankets, you can make lampshades, you can make hot pads or pillows, so many things that you can make with granny squares. And it would just be a really fun way to add some spice to your weekend. Like maybe you're just feeling a little bored, or you don't want to work on your project right now, so you just do a little quick fun thing with the cards. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let's move on to the last one. The last one for this category is an Annie's Kit Club subscription. But I'm going to come right out and say it. These are on the pricier side. I really wish they didn't cost so much, because it really is a deal breaker for a lot of people. But I do understand at the same time why it costs so much. So anyway, basically, you choose the pattern you want to make. Usually it's a blanket, unless you choose a different kind of kit. But they have lots of kits, and most of them are blankets. And if you choose a blanket kit, each month they'll send you a portion of that blanket to work on. And you'll get a new kit every month until the project is complete. Each month they send the written pattern for the section that you're working on, and then the yarn that goes with it. I think they also send a hook and some stitch markers in your first kit, but you know I only use Clover Amour hooks anyway, so that just gets thrown in my backup stash. But they also have very high quality, easy to follow videos for each section of the blanket on their website. The reason why I love these kits so much is because a few years ago, when I was deeply burnt out, I didn't have any motivation to crochet. Like, I went an entire year without crocheting, without the desire to crochet. I honestly thought that I would never crochet again, and I was really upset about that because I needed that creative outlet. So I decided to try one of their kits, even though I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue making it. So I ended up choosing the Moroccan, I think it's called the Moroccan Tile Afghan, and I went with the Christmas version. Long story short, the blanket completely reignited my love of crochet. It was so fun. I learned so many different techniques. That one is based mostly on mosaic crochet. So it was something that I wasn't really familiar with, and it really stretched me. It stretched me outside my comfort zone, inspired me to learn new things, and it really just tested my knowledge, and it was so fun. And also, like, the blanket looks absolutely gorgeous. It actually turned into one of our heirloom blankets that we're going to be bringing out every Christmas season. And it's by far my favorite thing I've ever made, because you look at it and it looks like it could win some sort of award. It's amazing. And I'm really proud. So if you're in a funk or you've lost your Crojo, I highly recommend investing in one of their kits. Okay, finally, that is it for the two main categories, but I'm just going to give you a couple more ideas. So these are things that will encourage you to try something new. You can do pottery kits, candle making kits, a crochet sock kit. I purchased one of these from Premier Yarns, but I haven't actually tried it yet. But it looks really fun, and I'm really excited. And speaking of that, I also purchased a sock pattern book, because the one time I made a pair of socks, I loved it, and I've been wanting to make another pair for years, but I just couldn't find the right pattern. And this book I got has lots of beginner-friendly options, so I'll share that link in the description too. Oh, and Lion Brand also has this ready-to-dye yarn kit, which sounds pretty fun. I haven't tried that one either, though, but it looks really cool. And obviously there are so many other things that you can do too. The idea behind this part was just to give you ideas on something that will spark your creativity, your curiosity, something that will teach you a new skill. There's even like diamond painting. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but I'm sure you'll think of something. My point is that self-care isn't always about spa treatments, although those are always nice, hence the shower steamers and the eye masks, if you remember those from numbers 1 and 2. But it's also about expressing yourself, doing more of what you love, expanding your mind, and learning new things. So I hope you found a few goodies to pick up for yourself. And if you want to make it even more fun, order a couple things, wrap them up, slap on a "To Me From Me" label, and throw it under the tree to open up on Christmas. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Oh, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Talk soon. Thanks so much for spending this time with me on Crocheting Through Emotions. If today's episode encouraged you, it would mean the world if you left a review. This small act helps other overwhelmed mamas find this space of cozy creativity. And if you've been wanting to try crochet as a way to slow down and feel grounded, my free Learn to Crochet Masterclass is a great place to start. You can find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep creating, stay present, and remember, you are right where you need to be.